Hello, my name is Kevin, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys and showing you guys my guitars and my current project. So I'm in the garage. I'm going to show you the project first, but first I'd like to tell you about what I have. Um, the guitar I'm working on right now is a Stratocaster knockoff. I don't know where the guy bought it, but it's a Z101 or S101 or something like that. Um, just a cheap piece of shit. Um, but I uh, I bought an acoustic guitar for $20 off this kid at school, and then about 6 months later I traded it in for this guitar from one of my friends. He didn't know, he just needed to get rid of it and he wanted to learn how to play acoustic. So I said, "Hey, I got an acoustic that I don't want. I'll trade you." And we made the deal, and I got a cheap guitar basically for $20. And I mean, before I ripped it apart, it played great. It ripped. I mean, it's cheap. You can tell, but it sounded good. It was decent. Um, but what I have upstairs in my room, I have an Epiphone Les Paul Jr. All black, the Epiphone Les Paul Jr. Custom, uh, jet black version, um, standard, all standard. I mean, I like to customize my own guitars, but I haven't gotten to that one yet. Pretty much, like, what I'm planning on doing is just like sanding down the neck and making it a little less round, like getting rid of the large diameter of the Epiphone Gibson neck, and making it more like a Fender neck. I really like the Fender necks. They're thin. I have small fingers and small hands, so smaller the better for me. But then I also have just a cheap knockoff, another cheap knockoff Strat that I bought from Target for $140. The one of those shitty 14-watt amp combos, and I chopped that one up too, and basically recreated a my version of the early Van Halen Frankenstrat, the black and white Frankenstrat that he played on the 1979 album Van Halen 1. And when it decides to play, it sounds fucking great. It's very temperamental, so it'll decide to work, and then 5 minutes later it'll cut out. I I somewhat fixed the problem. I couldn't. Okay, I didn't put the tone, I cut the tone knobs off and put the volume knob in, but I didn't put the knob cover on, and so it's just a bare piece of metal. Um, and I fixed the problem, or somewhat fixed the problem, by putting a rubber band around the knob and the pickup selector switch, and it doesn't cut out as much. Um, Still sucks. But what I did with it also, I took the okay. I'm gonna show you on the pick guard and pickups of my current project. So basically, it had just a single coil like this, in this, in all three positions. What I did, I cut a little bit. I cut and it was positioned diagonally. What I did, I cut a little bit out of the pick guard, along with this pickup, and took this pickup, put it down there, reverse wound it in an attempt to create a humbucker. It I I'd say it works. It's not the best. Obviously, it's from Target. It's a piece of fucking shit. But anyway, I left the hole there, and then I disconnected the neck pickup. Um, I didn't disconnect it on this one yet. I don't think I'm going to. I want to be able to have a diverse arrangement of sounds. But basically what that did. Let's see if I can grab the piece. What it did was it made this pickup selector basically into a kill switch. For some reason, when it's in the middle position, the middle pickup still exists, but for some reason, when it's in the middle position, it doesn't work. So basically, say this is the bridge position. If I turned it here, still worked, still worked, cut out, cut out, cut out. So what it did, if I turned it past here, it was a kill switch. It just cut the sound. And I think that's a pretty fucking cool effect. Yeah. So anyway, onto this project. Oh yeah, another thing, I always sand down the necks because of my small fingers, small hands. Really helps for me. So anyway, here I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. This was quite a bit thicker, this neck, before I cut it, or before I sanded it down. And every last bit of it counts for me because my fingers and hands are so small, and I'm 17. I'm positive I have arthritis, so with my stiff fingers, it really helps to have a smaller neck. But what I did also, I sanded down the head, took out the tuning pegs so I could sand around that, and then I drew a line on there where where I'm gonna have it cut to make it look more like a Kramer headstock, the beak headstocks. I'm gonna have my brother bring it into school, and because he has wood shop, and I'm gonna have him cut it for me. That's another reason I had to sand this down, because the skill saw, they're not allowed to put any wood through it that has gloss on it, or in the area that they're gonna cut. So I needed to sand it all down, and so it wouldn't get rejected, because I really do want this cut. I think it would be really fucking cool to have kind of a fake Kramer. It's not a Kramer, but I think it would be a pretty fucking cool look. Another thing, I was thinking about scalloping the fretboard, but I really do like this guitar, and I have never played a scalloped fretboard before, so I don't know if I would really like it. So I kind of put that off. Maybe that'll be a later video if I do end up doing it, to this guitar or one of my other guitars. Just maybe a review on my personal thoughts on a scalloped fretboard. I'm not sure about it. I've heard great things about it, but I've also heard horrible things about it. I've heard that it's great. I've heard that it fucking sucks. I've heard many different things. So another thing I've done is I've sanded down the bolt-on area, where it bolts onto the body. What this does for me is it lowers the neck on the body, so the strings are closer to the pickups, so I get a higher output, or a simulated higher output. What I've also done, I like low action guitars, so what I did was I sanded the nut down, just a little bit, just to lower the action a bit. I'll figure it out as I go. If I like it, if I want it lower, I have strings up the ass, so I can go through six sets of strings a day if I want. So it's just trial and error, really. Just sand it down bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit, to what you want. It's simple. I mean, I've been meaning to clean this. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's like dust, but it's just like it's ingrained in there, you know, like it's smooth plastic, but it won't come off, and I'm scared to wash it with anything because of the metal bits, because of the metal in the pickup. I'm very, very cautious about it. Um, but I think it would look so much better if it were clean, you know. And I'm pissed about it because I like a clean look. Um, but anyway, I have a tremolo bridge. It's not a Floyd Rose. It's just a standard that you would find on any standard Stratocaster or Stratocaster knockoff, whichever one you have. So basically, how it works is, for those of you who don't know, this video, you know, it's my first video. I just want people to know, even if you are like a guitar virtuoso and you know what every fucking bit is, you know, just bear with me because this is, you know, I want people to know about this kind of shit. You know, it bothers me when people, like, when I try to talk to people and like they say they play guitar, but you know they don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So anyway, what it does basically, say this is on the body, and what it does when you work the whammy bar is it lifts it up from the body, loosening the strings. The strings come through here and go up to the head. So what it does when you pull it that way, it loosens the strings. And a Floyd, it is so much better because it has a locking nut. See, this isn't a locking nut. It's just, you know, it's just straight across. It doesn't have anything going over the strings. So what you have to do with these is put a little bit of graphite in there when you restring it. I would recommend restringing it immediately after you buy it. Because stock strings just suck, you know, and also you want that little bit of graphite in there so when you work the whammy bar or tremolo bar or whatever the fuck you call it or whatever the fuck you want to call it, you know, it's lubricated so it slides back into position. Another thing I'm gonna do is these head truss rods up here. I'm gonna take the middle one off. You know, I'm gonna put the outer one back in, but because I've heard from sources, thank you YouTube, from a Yngwie Malmsteen interview, that if you take this truss rod off, it it keeps it in tune better when you use the whammy bar. Or fuck, I say whammy bar, but I've been playing too much Guitar Hero lately. Yes, I said Guitar Hero. It's a classic game. Don't fucking hate. Legends of Rock, people. But the truss rod cover, or the truss rod. Fuck, not truss cover. The truss cover would go over here, and the truss rod's in there. But this kind of this strut, I'll call it, keeps it in, what the fuck is it? Oh, it's a screwdriver. Sorry guys, I have ADHD, I can't focus. But what it does is, it keeps it in tune, or what it does, or at least from what he says, what it does when you take it off, it keeps it in tune better. I don't know if that's true, I'm gonna try it. But anyway, here's the body of the guitar. It's just a, you know, cheap Strat knockoff, you know. A normal Strat wouldn't have this giant fucking thing right there. It would just be simple, and it would have cutouts for individual pickups, and you would wire it through. But this one is a piece of shit. It does not, like, the sound is totally different from a Stratocaster. But yeah, and I've painted it a cream color. It was black, but you know, I think I've you know, I kind of like the cream color. So it's a shitty paint job, you know, just simple Krylon Color Master spray paint. I find Color Master, it's an ivory gloss by Krylon. I've always found Krylon to be really good for painting bodies. So yeah, that's what I use. But anyway, yeah. So if you want, hit the like button, hit the dislike button if you don't like the video. But you know, just if you want to check out some of my subscriptions, they're really fucking cool. Shiny Toy Guns. I'm not promoting any of them. But Shiny Toy Guns is really cool. I don't know what else I'm subscribed to. I forget, but you know, anything music. Premier Guitar, Rig Rundown. That is a good series. Check out Rig Rundown if you really want to see some people who know what the fuck they're talking about, because they're the ultimate in guitar work. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Catch you later.